what's up, guys? And so I just got watching Insidious The Red Door, and with this being the fifth film in the franchise, we followed the Lamberts as this is the conclusion to the story, and this will be my quick reaction and review for the film. Obviously, no spoilers. And going in this film, like with this franchise as a whole, I just love James Wan's direction, and even with this franchise and the way that this franchise has built up suspense and it builds jump scares in your face. That's what James Wan has done, and I love his style, especially for a horror franchise like this one. And even with Patrick Wilson now taking on the director chair, and even with his direction of the film, I kind of found it pretty solid as well. And it's even with the story, it felt really good to explore, especially as it was linking also to the past. And so, with the whole purpose of this film is that we find Dalton Lambert, who's an adult and now in college, and with Josh who drops him off, and he's living his college dreams, and like even so that with his demon that has come back to haunt him, and even with his spiritual actual things, and that Josh can unfold with his abilities, especially as this movie is also linking things to his past. And even so, they brought back that Darth Maul demon, and even from the franchise, and even from the first film, and even so, I think that was like the demon that freaked everyone out, and even with that, so that they brought the demon back, and especially with the chemistry between Josh and Dalton, it really feels like adults talking in this film, because this is like a Dalton Lambert now as an adult, especially as I love the character from the first two films, especially as I love the chemistry between the two. And even with the story in general, I kind of found it to be a solid, but at the same time, it was really good to explore parts of Dalton and Josh's past, as Josh is trying to unfold and figure out what is happening with him. It's trying to figure out what's going on. It's just, especially with finding things that is linking to his past, and even they're like flashbacks. Especially if you've seen the first two films, there are going to be flashbacks that are linking from the previous films, and directly linking into this movie. And even with Dalton, I try and figure out how to stop his demon that's after him. And even with this twist, that was a really good plot reveal too, and I just had a good time watching it, and even I was on the edge of my seat, even with the jump scares and everything, and they were good also. And now, with the horror and suspense, this film does do a great job of building up that, even with the jump scares, and those got me really good as when you're watching it, and it goes silent, but then the next day after that, it's right in your face. And even with Patrick Wilson's directing style, the way that this film and his directing really tries to build up that suspense, that's what I love in horror films. It's trying to get that suspense and jump scare right in your face. And even with everything else about the film, I haven't found to be really great, but at the same time, it was really good with the whole storyline with the Lamberts and linking it to the past. It was sort of a good storyline as well. And now with Dalton Lambert in this film, and with Ty Simpkins, who really portrays his character very well, and even as we see him from the first two films as a kid who was in a coma, and even with the story and the way that it plays out in this film, it really plays out well, and especially in some parts where there's someone to talk to about his past, and a story from when he was in a coma, and even with him being possessed by a demon, and the way that this was really played out, it was all played out well with the story. As we've seen from Dalton from the first two films, he was just a kid, and now in this film he's an adult who's in college dealing with things, and now who's doing art and doing coloring, and he even doing his portraits of different things, and even with his portraits of a drawing, it kind of links to his past, especially how it plays out in the third act as well. And even it plays out well. And now, just with my overall honest thoughts, I thought this was a good and solid entry, and the fact like this was like the fifth, I think the last Insidious film where like it just focuses on the Lamberts, and it takes place 10 years after the events of the second film, and it follows their son Dalton, and even so with the family that's haunted by a demon from the past who is back and trying to figure out a way to defeat him. And like even when still, I think I was satisfied towards the end of the film, and even with these bothersome moments between Josh and Dalton, it was a really horrible warming to see. It kind of get a little bit rocky sometimes, but even so with the story and everything else, I kind of found it to be really good. Even from the start of the film, it definitely hooks you in, and it doesn't waste any time, and goes like into what this film is about, especially involving the Lamberts, and even as I love the characters, so especially with Josh, Dalton, and even with Foster, and even with the rest of the family, it all plays out well with the story, and even with the creatures and everything. It was definitely cool to see, and it was very touching. And like even with the further that's like the dark dimension where the souls of the dead are, and even with the psychic Elise that like plays a big role in this franchise, and even with the so and with the further and how it plays out in the film, it definitely plays out very well, especially building up to a suspense, so especially with that dark small demon. Even towards the third act, I think I was a little bit satisfied because like even the rest of the film, it definitely links to their past, so especially with a Darth Maul and a demon, and even involving the Red Door, it just keeps you on the edge of your seat, figuring out how they're going to defeat this demon, and I think it plays well, and even towards the end of the film, there's some touching moments. I think this was a great horror film to enjoy. And yeah, with Insidious The Red Door, I thought I really enjoyed this film. I had a great time watching it, and so especially as I love the horror, suspense, and even with the build up to the jump scares, it really got me good. And so especially as I love the Patrick Wilson's directing style, and I love his directorial debut, and so especially with starting the director chair, and even with this whole franchise as a whole, and I definitely love this, especially with it being a PG-13 horror movie, and even with creatures, it was definitely cool to see, and even as I love this franchise, and even with all that suspense, and with so much more as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and I hope everyone else enjoys as well. And so that is going to be for this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. What your thoughts on Insidious The Red Door? If you've seen the movie, and give me a rating between 1 out of 10. Give this video a like and subscribe to turn on notifications for favorite future videos. And you can follow my socials, which are linked down below. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.